Hello everyone, welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Now channel. As always, this time I have appeared with the mysterious soap opera. So don't delay, like and subscribe now and stay tuned. Bold and Beautiful riddle: where is the real Sheila Carter, and other burning questions. Well, I'll say this for the bold and the beautiful: they know how to get our attention. Only hours before Friday's occasion was set to state, supervising patron Casey Kasperzak hit social media to advise that people shouldn't miss the final 10 seconds. Dispensable to say, we enough much all assumed that the week's thriller would feature Sheila popping out of her unseasonable grave in one fashion or another. But let's talk a bit about how we got from then to there, shall we? Notorious last words: the saga is eventually over, said Lauren to Eric and Donna. I was happy to have Genoa City's fashionista swing by. The fact that the young and restless princess who played such a huge part in the early times of the Sheila story has nearly been persona non grata ever since the she-devil returned on Finn and Steffi's marriage day has been a real purr in my butt. I mean, actually, a lot of how Bold and Beautiful has played Sheila this go-round has annoyed the crap out of me. From ruining the shock of her return by promoting it in advance to reducing the scapegoat villainess to a waitress, it's been one misstep after another. There were some brilliant moments along the way, to be sure. Sheila shooting Finn and Steffi was a shock, indeed, if further to us than Finn, who maintained, and endlessly bumbled about, his connection to his natural mama against all reason. And having Bill hook up with Sheila in trouble to bring her to justice was a delightful idea that eventually made no sense. The FBI didn't know this was ruse, and went nowhere. I do and suppose most observers really believed that Sheila was dead. And honesty, I do like to suppose that if and when they eventually do off the baddie, it's with the kind of epic, show-gauging, questionable meaning plot I've been wanting for times. I mean, look at all the characters it could involve. Still, I'll say that indeed as it came egregious that the final seconds would involve Cleric making the toe-related discovery, I kinda got chills as it played out on screen. I can't help wondering if it would have been indeed more poignant if the show hadn't sloped their hand in advance. I am not dead yet. Indeed, before Kasperzak teased social media about Friday's thriller, it sounded kinda egregious to me and grounded on the social media response, most of you where effects were headed. I mean, the more frequently Steffi told Liam that she and Finn were determined to not let anything come between us, clearly not Sheila, the clearer it came that that was exactly what would be. I do, still, suppose the way that Sheila will come between them might wind up being a bit unanticipated. Easily, they resituating hope to be a spoiler in the Finn/Steffi love. Yes, he prompted her to consider getting back together with Liam, but that seems about as likely as me not reserving a voyage or going to Disney World coming time. Finn's suggestion that she give Liam another chance sounded rather odd, especially coming on the heels of the croaker saying she might no way be suitable to completely trust Thomas because of the Beth incident. I get what he meant, but then's the thing, Thomas has shown growth since that time, whereas Liam, who spent times breaking Hope's trust by clunk-ponging between her and Steffi, seems to have changed not one iota. Heck, just this once week he spent time assuring both of the ladies, as if he could fluently fall back into either one's arms. Misty water-colored memories. Sheila was a imminence, Lauren reminded Eric and Donna. She was dangerous. You know, we knew what she was going to do next. Coupled with the stupendous flashbacks, it was a memorial of what made Sheila such a fantastic and changeable villain and how doused down the interpretation we've had in recent months was. I can't help hoping that it was also a suggestion that someone behind the scenes is ready to give us that interpretation back. I also love that they showed flashbacks to Eric and Sheila's love. Because one of the effects that has always been pivotal to the character is that Sheila wants nothing further than to be loved. Indeed, in this rearmost replication, Sheila was driven by that desire. It's her main provocation. As Kimberlyn Brown joked to me a while back, if people would stop trying to stand between Sheila and the people she loves, bad effects would stop passing. Still, who did Steffi really kill? If we being honest, the fact that Bold and Beautiful Sheila is alive isn't really important of a shock, if Bold and Beautiful Sheila is alive. The alternate that supervising patron Casey Kasperzak advised that observers they demanded to watch Friday's occasion live, especially the last 10 seconds. Social media exploded, although not inescapably in the way he might have anticipated. Half of those responding were agitated, half were rolling their eyes, but all assumed they knew what they DC. Numerous rightly guessed that the reveal would involve Sheila's toes, and Cleric discovering that the cadaver in question has 10. Observers will recall that Sheila cut off one of her toes in order to move people that she'd been eaten by a bear. Others participated their studies about what they truly wanted to see rather of yet another Sheila return, including a Thomas/Hope reunion, the return of Krista Allen's Taylor or Finn and Hope participating a kiss. While Sheila being alive isn't inescapably a surprise, it does raise several veritably intriguing questions. What really happened that night at Steffi and Finn's Deepwater home, and who, exactly, did she really kill? And although Deacon now realizes that his late love isn't nearly as late as he presumed, how will he prove it if, as we assume, the body winds up being burned at the crematorium? From the launch, the events of that night sounded ever out. We knew that over the once many weeks, Sheila had been slipping off to meet a riddle person. Indeed, Deacon reflected on her absences a time or two. And also there was Sheila's unforeseen decision to terrify Steffi. Sure, the two women had gotten into a violent physical fight after Sheila crossed paths with Kelly at the eatery, but was that really enough to push her over the edge? Maybe, but it sounded an overreaction, indeed at the time. And what, we still wonder, did Sheila, or whomever attacked Steffi have in their fund? That particular riddle has yet to be addressed. It's worth flashing back that Sheila's history includes further than a many plastic surgery-related exploits. There was the time she had cellmate Sugar go under the cutter so she could be converted into a Sheila ringer. Or the time Sheila had herself surgically altered to look like young and restless Phyllis. Neither show has ever addressed how Sheila is alive, given that her stint as Phyllis ended with the dummy redhead smelling both the pellet and the dust. Sure, Sheila formerly fooled to Katie that rumors of her identity change and death had been greatly inflated, but as explanations go, that wasn't important of one.